Hello, my name is Daniel Holz. I fence for Premier Fencing Academy. First and foremost, obviously, my faith in God. I just try every single day to put my trust in Jesus, in God. I know that even on my toughest days, if all else fails, that He's got my back, and that even if I don't perform at my highest level all the time, I can at least count on myself to be the best person that I can be, and that if my performance is not adequate, I can still focus on being a great person. In terms of dealing with tough days, I think the first step is to just acknowledge them. Not everyone's going to be perfect. It's impossible to always be on your A game all the time. I think as humans, we're inherently flawed, and that we just have to acknowledge that these tough days exist, and that we just have to learn from them all the time. My dad has a saying that always stuck with me: is you either win or you learn. So even if you're not performing at your highest level all the time, if you're not feeling yourself one day, if you feel like you're just lost on the strip the other day, it's important to analyze after with the fact, figure out what you did wrong, why you did wrong. Maybe you slept, maybe you woke up on the wrong side of the bed that day, maybe you put your socks on wrong that day. All these sorts of factors contribute to how your performance is affected. And I think especially at the higher levels, sometimes it can feel so random and it can feel so inconsistent at times. But the important thing to remember is just that learning from your experiences, from your bad days, can actually help you become a better fencer. Because nobody's perfect at the end of the day, and you have to expect these tough days to happen and just keep pushing through. First part of making Team USA was just the volume, the amount that I had to do to prepare. Um, these past few years, I've just increased by a great magnitude the amount of preparation that I've had to do, whether it be tournaments, camps, practices, lessons, the like. And I think that for anyone who's interested in trying to become part of Team USA, you have to be prepared for the amount of volume that you have to do, the amount of work you have to do. Making Team USA has been a huge dream of mine ever since my first international tournament ever. So, really, just making sure that you're mentally prepared is the most important part. Physically prepared, second most important part. Um, and that can only come through experience, through doing trial and error, doing things over and over and over again, getting that one technique down, going to tournaments, learning styles, learning fights. One piece of advice I have for young athletes is just to keep going, to keep pushing. You're not always going to be the most naturally talented or the most naturally gifted at anything that you do. And it's important to remember that the most important part in becoming successful at things like this is just the work you put in, right? You can have all the natural talent in the world, you can have all the gifts in the world, but if you don't put that work in, you're never going to go anywhere with it, and vice versa. You could be completely uncoordinated at first, have no athletic talent, but if you drive yourself, you keep pushing, you keep working, eventually something's going to happen, right? And you may lose a lot, right? We have to accept that. Failure comes with competition, right? The important part is to just, you know, acknowledge your failure, but you don't have to accept it, right? You say, I failed, but what can I learn from this? How can I improve? How can I move forward, right? It's hard sometimes to keep going when you feel like you're losing over and over and over again, or things are just not working over and over again. But as long as you put the work in, you put the effort, you can make something great.